All right, let's dive into an absolutely incredible story from the ancient epic, the Mahabharata. We're talking about a tale packed with gods, sages, immense power, and one moment of arrogance that literally changed the cosmos. Okay, let's get into it. So, you've got to ask yourself, how on earth can a tiny puddle of water, a single leaf, and a god just laughing, how can that lead to the birth of this invincible king of all birds? It sounds impossible, right? Well, this story shows how one little moment of pride can set off a chain reaction that rocks the heavens. Let's find out how. Okay, so picture this. Our story kicks off at a huge celestial ritual, a yagna. It's being hosted by this really powerful sage, Kashyapa, and his goal is to have children. All the gods, all the great beings, they're all there to pitch in. So Kashyapa turns to Indra, the mighty king of the gods, and gives him a pretty simple job. Hey, go get the firewood for the sacred fire. Should be easy for a guy with godlike strength, right? Well, this is exactly where things start to go wrong. So on his way, Indra, who's carrying this massive mountain of wood like it's nothing, he stumbles across this group of sages called the Balakhilyas. And the difference between them is just staggering. You've got Indra, this peak of divine power, and then you have these sages. They're no bigger than a thumb, literally described as skin and bones. And they're all struggling together just to carry one single leaf. And just when you think it can't get any more pathetic for them, they trip. They fall into a puddle of water. And we're not talking about a lake here. This puddle is no bigger than the footprint of a cow. But for them, it might as well be an ocean. They're actually struggling for their lives. And what does Indra do? Does he help? Nope, not even close. His pride just takes over completely. He looks down on them, lets out this huge, mocking laugh, and then, for the final insult, he just steps right over their heads and keeps on walking. This was a terrible, terrible mistake. And this, right here, is where Indra learns a crucial lesson. You do not mess with sages, especially not ones who have immense spiritual power. Indra's laughter? It lit a fire of pure rage, and the Balakhilyas, they were out for revenge. They are absolutely fuming. We're talking blazing with sorrow and wrath. So they immediately start their own secret ritual. But this yagna isn't for something nice like prosperity or children. Nope. This one has one single, terrifying goal: to take down the king of the gods himself. And they're not holding back. Their goal is crystal clear. As they're chanting these powerful mantras, they call for the creation of a new Indra, one that's as fast as thought itself and absolutely fierce. They are literally trying to create his replacement. So word gets back to Indra about what they're doing. And suddenly, all that arrogance, poof, it's gone, replaced with just pure abject terror. He knows how powerful these sages are. He knows their curse is stronger than his own thunderbolt. So he does the only thing he can think of. He runs to Kashyapa for help. So Indra's desperate plea kicks off what is basically a cosmic negotiation. It's now up to the sage Kashyapa to try and stop a disaster that could tear apart the entire order of the three worlds. Now, Kashyapa is really stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, think about it. On one side, the creator god Brahma had already declared that Indra is the king. You can't just undo that. But on the other side, the spiritual power of these sages, their tapasya, is so massive that their ritual has to go somewhere. You can't just waste that kind of energy. So, realizing he's walking a cosmic tightrope here, Kashyapa goes to the furious sages himself. He steps in as a mediator, trying to find some kind of peaceful way out of this mess before it's too late for everyone. And this is where Kashyapa's wisdom is just on another level. He knows he can't stop the ritual, and he can't get rid of Indra. So what does he do? He completely reframes the problem. His plan is just brilliant. First, he calms down the sages. Second, he makes sure Brahma's decree about Indra stays intact. And then he comes up with this genius compromise. Okay, your ritual will create an Indra, but not an Indra of the gods. How about an Indra of the birds, a king of all winged creatures? It was a masterstroke that would redirect all that power and keep everyone happy. And it works! The Balakhilyas see how clever this is, their honor is saved, their power won't go to waste, and they get their revenge, in a way. So they agree and hand over the rest of the ritual to Kashyapa, trusting him to see it through. Okay, so disaster averted, right? Well, not quite. You still have all this raw, immense power from the sage's ritual just sitting there waiting to be used. And, as luck would have it, Kashyapa's own wish for a son creates the perfect opportunity. And you won't believe the timing. Right at this moment, Kashyapa's wife, Vinata, comes to him because she deeply, deeply wants to have children. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Kashyapa's own ritual for a son could now be supercharged with the power from the Balakhilyas ritual. So, Kashyapa tells her that because of this incredible cosmic event, she is going to be blessed beyond measure. She wouldn't get just one son, she was going to have two incredibly heroic sons, both destined for greatness. And sure enough, that's exactly what happens. Vinata eventually gave birth to two sons. The first was Aruna, who would become the charioteer for the sun god himself. And the second was Garuda. He was the living, breathing result of the sage's powerful vow. He was born as the invincible king of birds, respected in every realm and wielding unimaginable power. And the lesson for Indra, now thoroughly humbled, couldn't have been clearer. As Kashyapa told him, you never, ever look down on those with spiritual power. A sage's anger is way more powerful than any divine weapon you've got. In the end, pride really does come before a fall. So there you have it, a king of birds, born from a single moment of a god's pride. But believe me, this is just Garuda's origin story. His legend was only just getting started. So, what was the great deed that would make his name famous for all time? Well, that's a story for another day.